Fire prevention is being heard more and more today. It became a standard in today's life and work. Fire can keep us warm, but fire can also make us homeless. As culture and technology changes, fire prevention became a necessity in our homes and workplaces today. However, more homes and workplaces are being built out of lighter materials and also being built closer and closer together. Each can lead to extreme destruction, homes and workplaces being lost, people being displaced, and even death. Why should we not protect our homes and workplaces and defend them against an enemy that can attack at any time? Fire prevention needs to start at homes and workplaces and then be carried onwards in our lives. But let us explore first the timeline of fire prevention. You know, there are three elements essential to the existence of fire. Number one, heat. Number two, fuel. And number three, oxygen. Heat source has been available throughout the history, mainly through lightning, volcanoes, and meteorite impacts. Then, fire is marked by periods of high and low oxygen level. Likewise, fire is associated to the origin of plants because plants is a fuel source. Then, 1 million years ago, primitive man knew how to search for useful fire, and they knew how to avoid harmful fire. You know, fire at this period was a seasonal resource, and maintenance of fire was limited. One way our primitive ancestor did to find useful fire and avoid harmful fire was a change in habitat. They go from forest to savanna. And 400,000 years ago, primitive man learned to enhance the maintenance of fire. An early step in the enhancement of maintenance of fire would have been transporting it from burnt area to unburnt areas. This is the time that campsites develop, campsites emerge. Then in 200,000 years ago, our ancestors learned the enclosure of fire. Like building a hearth or building a circle of stone. And they use it for cooking. Enclosure of fire is associated when human learned how to create fire, how to make fire. For example, using a hand drill. Then, around 10,000 years ago, this is the time that agriculture emerged. It helped the enhancement for the prevention of harmful fire. The consumption of herb-based in savanna had led to a reduction of fuel for burning and resulted in fewer harmful fires. One example is backburning to prevent massive wildfire. And lately in 300 BC, the first known water pump was invented in Alexandria, Egypt. There was a museum in Alexandria, Egypt, where scholars conducted research and lectured and published literature on various subjects. There is a Greek citizen in Alexandria named Ctesibius, who probably the first head of that museum. And he also the one who invented the first fire pump. Then, in 23 BC, Caesar Augustus of Rome created the first firefighting force. The three men of the night, they are privately owned slaves. They act as supplementary force to prevent harmful fire in Rome. They performed their duties at night. Hence, they were called the Triumviri Nocturni. Then in 6 AD, after a large catastrophic fire in Rome, a group of firefighting force named Vigils was formed. The major duty of the Vigils was to enforce preventive measures against harmful fire. The Vigils patrolled the street, especially at night, on the lookout for any unsupervised fire. Then during the Great Fire of Rome in 64 AD, over 1/3 of Rome was destroyed by fire. It was rumored that the Vigils intentionally allowed the city to burn. They said under the orders of Emperor Nero. Then after the Great Fire of Rome, then Nero enacted fire laws. For example, to avoid further harmful fire, the laws called for more public access to water and prohibited buildings from sharing a common wall. Then in 1066 AD, a law made by William the Conqueror stated that all lights and fires should be covered at night to prevent the spread of destructive fire within communities. That is the time that the word curfew, a French word for cover fire, emerged. And from 1100 to 1600 AD, various laws and ordinances were passed, declaring for no-touch roof, requiring safe storage of fuel for baking, calling for fire-resistant building and more open space. Also, laws on banning of smoking outdoors was passed. Then in 1648, the first fire organization in America was established. And in 1666, the Fire Insurance Company was born. And in late 1854, safety matches was developed. And in 1922, the first Fire Prevention Week was established. And lately in 1950, there was a fire dog mascot named Sparky was introduced as a symbol for safety. And in 1966, by virtue of Presidential Proclamation number 115-A, the month of March was declared as Fire Prevention Month in the Philippines.